Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Drink more
So-
water. I just realized I've only had a few sips. Got taking care of myself.
So, should we launch a regular brig and then just go to the Monkey Island stop, or should we just do the Monkey Island one?
I have no idea. I mean, we should be able to just take over again, right? Like, even if we're on one of our
Well, yeah,
brigs.
but oh, my ships. So go. Oh, you can do it that way. Oh my god, I'm just dumb.
Oh, you can pick it. It just yeah.
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 Okay, so I will invite you, and then
Okay.
he will just join in.
Yes.
He will just join in.
Healing.
Join. No problem, Marbs. Just why they sold the rights. Nintendo went bankrupt, so nobody could do anything with console. So now the parents got the right back, but still no knowledge of how to console. Yeah. Yep. You joining me?
I am. I am coming.
You must go faster.
I'm trying.
Thought you did it on purpose. You did it on purpose.
Oh, are we using a galleon?
Oh shit.
Is someone else gonna come play?
No,
We can use a galleon. It's not a big deal.
no, we don't have to. I literally
I mean,
just clicked on the wrong one. No, it's fine.
there's gonna be 3 of us, so
It's fine. Because I don't know if there's going to be any ship stuff we actually have to do later. Alright, invite friends. I noticed here that Iron Galaxy was involved in development. I wonder if they're responsible for the console port. I don't know. I don't know, Marbs. I don't know. That was all back in 2017. Then they said they made use in their console, then PC goes full release. So never. Yeah. Oh well, yeah, I just don't know. Unfortunately, like, I only keep up, like, semi with these types of things. Like, I don't really follow, you know, the transfer of power and all that stuff. I don't really follow it much. Like, I might look it up if there's, like, a game that I was like, oh, I was looking for this. Like, where did it go?
okay.
Did
So
you
how do
paint your face
we?
a color so that you don't look tan all the time?
I like put like some like stuff across my eyes, but yeah, pretty much.
Right. You were switching from PS4 to PC when it happens? Only reason he had an idea. Yeah. I had not played it on console. I had only played it on PC. But people had told me about the console thing. Especially when it came to Game Pass and people were like, oh, we can finally play together. And I was like, oh, we can't, though. Not in an asshole way, but like, we can't. I think we need to do this again. I don't think we finished it.
I thought, but no, because we got to things where it said like, oh, point saved or whatever. So it has to.
Okay, so what happens if we talk
Looking
to
to
her?
see
Does
the
it let us
world?
continue?
Hmm. Yeah? Hmm.
Mm, no,
Yeah?
doesn't seem like it.
So.
Alright,
yeah?
hold on. So what
I could
happens
use
if we
some near
vote
grog.
for it? What happens if we vote for it?
Hey, don't touch that! Not unless you think you're tough enough to track down the man
Starts
I'm
it
hunting. Everything I
over.
know is in that logbook. I'd
Hmm.
find him myself if I had the money to get back on the waves. But for
But-
now, I'm just another landlubber selling.
It didn't give me... Hold on, I'm gonna leave game. I'm just gonna... If it starts us over, it starts us over, or whatever. But, I'm curious if there's like... Hold on, is there like a continue thing that I didn't see? Let me look one more time. Fourth, I'm not trying to push or anything. I think I'm gonna play some Pokemon. Yeah, only because we started this the other night, Laz, and like I don't want to be an asshole, but like I don't feel like teaching somebody how to play Sea of Thieves tonight. But depending on how long this takes, and depending on how long everything takes, we could do something. But also I haven't decided what I want to play, like, for the rest of like the week on stream. So we could always play something else this week. Because I really still want to play Last Train out of Wormtown. But everybody I asked have not always... Everybody I asked had other plans. Alright. Play. Legend of Monkey Island. My ships. Brig. Sail Brig. Settings? No. Yeah, there's no like continue.
It's so weird. Then why did it have a save, like a?
I know I'm agreeing with you, but I don't
It's
I
so
don't see anywhere.
weird. That's so weird.
I mean, okay, hold on. Let me see if I don't do my ship and I just do a brig ship. Like, what if it's not capped? See, this still doesn't say continue.
No.
All right, but we can do it quick, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's annoying though, for real. Oh, you have to invite.
Okay, so we just run around looking for pieces of 8 and go get the cook's uniform.
So we need the uniform.
Um,
We need the hot peppers from... Okay, so we need the cook's uniform because then we need to cook the food. And then give it to
we
the
get
dog
m-
to get the
meal
hot
with
peppers.
and the skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan gives us the gummies.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now that we're knowing, it would be quicker. It's like we walked
Yeah.
around with the stuff in our hands for such a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, I had that rope in my hand for so long. Remember trying to teach me how to play Destiny 1 and being all technical, deep detailed of the Crota race? I just ran at it, knocked it off the edge, ignoring all the device. I win, yep. Sometimes it'd be like that. I had a couple people teaching me Destiny 2. Destiny 2. It's in the second one. And it would be the same thing, and I would just be like, I'm just gonna DPS the shit out of it. Like, should be relatively easy. The higher the DPS, the faster he dies. Right? Right, I'm not- exactly, Alpha, I'm the same way. Just tell me where to shoot. Just tell me where to shoot. If I die, I die. Tell me where to shoot.
Aaron's on his way.
Okay. We can start it since all we have to do is sail in there.
Hey, don't touch that! Not unless you think you're tough enough to track down the man I'm hunting.
Literally was a good bypassing the entire mechanic. I did it before it hit YouTube. That's funny. Yeah, there's another glitch mechanic that you can do. Is I don't remember what raid it is, but it's in Destiny 2. And you basically like jump off the edge of something and then like wait like a second and then like do your double jump and like jump back on the edge. But if you time it right, he'll like just literally like run off the edge, like no question. Wait, she hasn't turned on the thing yet.
Why? No. Oh.
She hasn't turned on
Ma'am.
the portal yet.
Ma'am, we need the doorway, please.
Hello, ma'am? Hello, ma'am?
Ma'am, please.
Ma'am.
Ma'am. We are ready.
Rest of just start going in and out of that hole while I'm swimming.
Yeah, maybe someone has to listen to her whole thing, otherwise it doesn't trigger.
I don't know, I'll listen to her yapping.
Ugh.
willing and able to broach the Sea of the Damned and save
Oh, they're
Guybrush.
still
And
talking.
then everybody here will see what a pathetic dope
That's
you
probably
really
why.
is.
Like, they're still
It's a good
talking.
plan. Think they can pull it off?
I believe they can.
Y'all talk
Now it should
too
be open.
much.
Now it should be open.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Okay, so like we just literally ran away while they had to actually go through their things. That's funny. Alright, where's my mermaid? Oh, over here. There's some weird teleporting thing. And you got teleported, you had to do something. But it teleported the 3 furthest from the boss. And beat the raid in like 3 seconds. By accident. Oh,
But don't lose. Once Fleetwood has been rescued,
that's funny.
I'm going to
Do you play a Titan? That sounds like a Titan. I don't know, I just smashed it and it broke. I just smashed it and it broke.
Let's go. I was inching forward, waiting for you.
Ah, you had self-res, I see. Warlock, yeah. Hi, Wood Chippy. Hold on, I'll get you in Discord.
Oh,
Hello.
hello. Headphones working? Not working? Hello.
Yeah, there he is. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. We have to do it all over again, but we can be fast. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't save. It had checkpoints, but it didn't save our progress.
I think that. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Self-res and near infinite grenades when we res for a short time.
What an
Really?
incredible end to an amazing
Okay.
adventure. I outwitted the evil pirate LeChuck, caused an avalanche, kinda, and lived to tell the tale. Even better, Elaine and I finally got married, and all of our friends were there too. I don't think we've ever been happier. Now all we have to do is set a course and begin our honeymoon, sailing on the Sea of Thieves. To get there, we have to pass through the Devil's Shroud. Elaine says it's no big deal so long as we follow the map.
That
but
sounds
I don't know. I miss seeing the stars.
ominous.
Ominous.
Didn't,
I
yeah.
had the nightmare.
They did change it for D2, because
I wake up in our
Destiny
camp.
2 is the one I
Elena's
played
gone.
more of.
And at the end of my bed, LeChuck is there, laughing at me. It's crazy, I know. I left him buried back on Monkey Island, but why does it feel so real? I can almost hear the laughter.
Ruff, 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 ruff.
Fuck. Hold on.
Woof, woof, woof.
What? What? What?
This is one of the reasons why I want to get another monitor, so I could be playing Forever Skies right now, and I could be waiting for all my shit to craft while I'm waiting for this to be going, and switch between the two. Every time I'm sailing, I'm crafting, and when I'm fighting, I'm crafting.
Yes. Okay.
So we go to Monkey Island again.
To the island.
Full speed ahead.
But when I did get back to sleep, I had a very different dream. I was back where it all began, on my quest to become a legendary pirate. Back at the start of my very first adventure.
Okay, so we need the chef uniforms first, and then we need the grog to get everybody drunk, and then you get the lighthouse key, or not, the clock house key from one of the guys, and you go up to get stuff out of the clock house. All right, so that's what we'll do. Get the uniform first. I'll get the key. You guys can start the food.
We got this.
Someone has to go up to lookout. That's how I play Satisfactory. Oh, I need 1,000 of those. I'll just go play this while that... I know. I have... Okay, so Alpha, I have 4 monitors. It's already a problem. I have 4 monitors, but while I'm streaming, each of them is something already. So, like, my OBS is there, my chat is there, my game is there, my Discord is there. But if I had
Yeah, I
one
only
more...
have 3.
If I had one more and I could put it above right there, it would be perfect. But I don't need it. My poor PC couldn't handle it, even if I wanted to.
Look for pieces of 8. We need them.
Uh-huh. Bye forever.
My friend.
At once, depending on the game. Yeah, no, I've done it before. Like, just there was just another a night, a couple weeks ago on stream where I was playing The Forest with my friends, and I was also playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Meat I spy? Tremble, mortal, before the mighty skulls of scum.
It's been longer than a rat's tail since I last set me sockets on a would-be pirate, though I can swear we've crossed paths before. But never mind all that. You'll be here to undertake the 3 trials, I'll wager.
The 3 trials!
Hey, doggy. Alright, yeah, the dog means the... That's right.
It's too bad.
You need the bone from the dog, because that's the, for the leg or whatever.
Mm-hmm. They need the stuffed animal for that.
The monkey.
Alright, how do you get the uniform?
No,
You have to
please, not
buy them from the
speech
shopkeeper.
again.
The mightiest
Okay.
pirate
I think they're 4. Or no, I don't think you buy. No, you don't buy them. You go and tell him. We all have to do it too.
Yeah, we all have to wear it.
Yeah.
No, I know we all have to
just
wear
go-
it, but I didn't talk to him last time. It just was in my inventory.
Oh, maybe only one of us has to go and get it then.
Yeah. Okay, I've got some pieces of 8.
I can run up.
Mission
I'll
like
go
desert,
get.
waiting
I'll,
on parts and satisfactory. Waiting on ore and engineer. Playing something else that actually requires input. Yeah.
I'll get the.
Alright, so here's this guy.
Sorry, but these items here, hey, it's not my. Oh, then you need. But I can tell just by looking at you. Tell you what, if you can bring.
We have
Okay,
to
he needs
blow
the
up.
missing cargo.
I got the cargo up already.
Okay.
To blow up the jail.
Yep, but we need the hot things from that.
Yeah, the gummies. Yeah.
Okay, so he gives you that. Okay. Okay, here's the gunpowder fuse we can't get yet. Chef's uniform, 45. Alright, I will go around opening all these things, picking up the pieces of 8.
Oh, I don't have the option to get the chef's uniform.
But we might not have the money yet. Do we have 45 yet?
I think I have. It's 45 pieces of 8.
Or we have 19.
Okay. Gunpowder fuse
Okay,
is
open
70
this.
pieces of 8.
Yeah, that's later.
Yeah.
So we have to start with that because we get that. And then once we get that, we can get the grog, which gets us the key. So we have to start with the uniform no matter what. Okay, so he's playing that.
Hey, you!
Here's the dogs.
Yeah, you! Want to see something hilarious? There's a pack of piranha poodles in this alley that can't stand the sound of
they're
this
so
thing.
mean.
Watch.
Right, the goods. You have to hook on the water.
What's the matter? Can't you reach your lovely
I think I have to go talk to the chef first, too. I don't know. I thought there was like. I thought I got them for free last time, but maybe not. I'll just keep looking for gold.
Okay, I started the whole thing with the dogs and the musician. So the
Nice.
dogs are all worked up. Tall Tale checkpoint, save your quest inventory. Yeah, but not really, because we have to do it again.
Yeah, see? Like, yeah, why is it?
Unless it's...
Oh, maybe
don't
we
know.
should have looked at our quest inventory. Maybe there would have been something.
Yeah, but how would we have done it? How would that have started it? Like, we needed to get here. We needed them to turn the thing on.
I do not know.
I don't know either. Maybe a stream or two open? Oh, I always have a stream open, and that's just a given.
Yeah, me too. Usually 2, because you can, like, count as 2, but...
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I've interacted with the chef. Oh yeah, and we need to let the guy out of jail.
Wait, we have
so
the
that we
gold. Hold
can
on.
Get the head.
Hold on. Is this the golden ticket?
Yeah, I have the meet and greet ticket already.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
then-
Because he gives it from the he gives it from the treasure, but we still need the skeleton guy to replace the other guy on break. Yeah. Okay. For just there was like a split second. I was like, oh, it saved our progress, but no, it does. It did.
All right, and we need the monkey toy, and we need the Melee Island history book too.
Well, did we get the history book last time?
No.
Did we make it to that last time?
No.
Yeah, because that was expensive.
We gotta keep making money. Yeah, okay. And so we need to get the Lex fuses, that's 70 pieces, and the chef uniform,
Yeah.
that's 45, so...
But the
bleh.
chef's uniform. Did we have to talk to the pirate lords first? Did the pirate lords tell us that he's looking for his apprentice?
I talked to him, and the guy at the store tells you, like, so the uniform is sitting out on the counter. You have to go up to it, but it's 45 pieces, which we don't have yet. I
Yeah,
think you
but
can
how
just
did
buy
we?
it.
Well, we got it way earlier. Like we got 45 pieces that quick before.
This pirate just told me this pirate lord just told me that the chef is looking for someone, but that he hired someone, and the chef said that he was looking for someone, that he'd hired someone. But if we
Okay,
show up
so
at the uniform, then he's like, yeah.
okay. Just trying to think. Like I was like, I just didn't think that we got 45 that quickly.
I think we wandered around quite a bit. Can't steal anyone's pieces of AIDS. I have to get them drunk first.
So they're drunk, yeah.
Yeah, I guess just wandering and like finding them.
But I mean,
know
like
there was,
I
like,
have gone. Go ahead.
Well, I think there's a bunch up at two at Lookout. I don't know if anyone's been up there.
I haven't been up
there
Lookout.
yet. I can go up there. I'm down at the docks looking for stuff. On barrels and whatnot.
Okay, I've
Okay,
got the
okay.
uniform, I think.
I got one.
One.
I'm doing so good.
One is the loneliest
Nice.
number.
Got more.
4. So in Monkey Island, like in the original, the dude, look out here, he complains about how long the walk to get up here is. And like, oh my god, and you make him go down like a few times for something, and each time it's like he gets back up and you're like, oh, actually I need this or something, and he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And now I got to experience the actual walk, because you don't get to in the game.
It's funny.
How do you steal his money? Oh right, you tell him that
You
there's
tell
a
him about
ship,
the
right?
boat.
Yeah.
12.
Nice.
Okay, so we can go get the uniform now. I got it, I'm on it.
Ooh.
Shop. Okay. Chef's uniform.
Cooking up a plan.
Thank you, Nix. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, actually, I'm near the ship, so I may as well.
It's actually been a while. Oh, there is a changing thing in the tavern. I saw it last night.
Oh, in the tavern itself?
And there's one in the shop, too.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the
in
shop?
The shop
Oh, I
there
didn't see
is,
the shop
yeah.
one.
He like implies, he says there's a place to change.
Oh, it's
over
right here.
there,
It's right
but
here.
there's
It's right
nowhere
here.
to-
Yeah. I see it.
Yes.
Okay. Got this. Let's go get some people drunk. How's everyone? We're hanging. We're hanging. I am winding down. Ready to get in bed at the end of the night. I'm not gonna lie though, I will probably still end up playing some, what do you call it? Forever Skies.
Dice up an onion.
This is actually ridiculous, whatever. Okay. Okay, I can steal his money. Okay, I can't steal his money. I got his key. Okay. Now. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, here's the key. I can't do this. Oh my god. Alright, I'll get this other guy drunk and take his money.
I'm coming.
Okay, is that guy? Alright, I'm less drunk. I'm less drunk now. Okay, okay. It's easier now. Oh, that was really... The extra strong one gets so drunk so fast.
I might have to drown here.
Why?
There.
I can't use any items or anything.
Do you have the key?
No, I don't have the key. Like, I can't bring up my item wheel or anything to, like, go fishing or nothing.
Can you unstuck?
Oh,
Yeah, like, I can bring it up from, like, the equipment menu, but yeah, for some reason it won't bring up, like...
Weird.
Oh my god, I'm so drunk.
Set it for next month.
Woo, I got it. Oh yeah, no, it's so hard to like do stuff with the just one cup of that super strong.
Of the grog, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm a seasoned veteran of drinking, and this has got me.
Going to a render?
bubbling.
Yeah, you said that. It's so exciting.
There.
What was the last thing I needed for the stew?
You did tell me. You did, Nix. I'm really excited for you. I really, really, really hope it goes well.
Oh yeah, the root beer sprinkle. Ah.
There's that. But I'm gonna suck it up. No, you'll be good. You'll be great. You'll be great, Nix. I really think you will. I think it'll make you feel really good too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Thank you for the follow.
Okay, I will catch. Has anyone, yeah, I'll go catch that red herring.
I already got it done.
Oh, did you cook it too?
Yep.
Nice. Look at you. Did you give the to the dogs? Oh no, you got it right. You're holding it. I see it. You bring it to the other dog, to those
That's right.
poodles.
There's the ones in the box there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Next
one
to
gets a monkey toy.
Yeah, I have
Oh.
them. I'm getting the monkey toy right now.
Oh my gosh.
How did you get Murray's head?
That is the dude in the prison. We need those explosive gummies.
Oh
we
yeah,
get
you
from
give
the
him and
crate.
then you put the coconut head. Yep. Okay.
We need
That's the
so we
one
need
I couldn't remember.
We need 70. I don't know how many. Hold on, let's see what we got. We need 70 pieces of 8. We got 63. We need 7 more pieces of 8. And then we can get the
Fuse.
fuse. Thank you. I wanted to say cord, but that wasn't right.
Well, we
I'm
can
very
get
sick.
his. We can get his pieces of 8 when we get the dogs.
True. I am vomiting all over this street. I am such a good representative of our crew as a whole.
Somebody save me before I go!
I had 1 cup and I'm vomiting on everybody.
Okay, there's 2 bones
There's the
and his
gunpowder
pieces
gum.
of 8.
All right. I will get. Okay. Oh no. Try to make my way to the store and get those the cord.
I'm next to the store. I'll get the fuse.
Ahoy there, fancy
Got the
pants.
Oh, I said
fuse.
cord. I did say cord.
That's okay. I'm at the jail, ready for the gunpowder gummies.
They're already in there.
Oh, they're here.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh right, and then yeah, it's lantern. Oh, you got nice.
Okay, here's the arm.
I don't believe it.
I'll get this head.
Okay, there's the
And
arm.
then yeah. He's still talking.
Mm-hmm.
You just wants to open his furniture store.
I know. I'm just gonna check out my dogs. Jack,
Collecting carrots is fine.
Jack.
In
Captain
Coco.
Coco. No.
Rebooted.
Okay.
Oh my god. So, remember I told you the other day that Jack has figured out that he can get in my bedroom if he goes on the shelf? Okay,
I
so
could pretend to be one of them and
I go in my
sneak
room
you into Threepwood's
to go look
place.
for him.
What do you
Be like,
say?
get out, bad boy,
There's
whatever.
gotta be a convenient corpse lying
This
somewhere
little
around
king
here.
is on my bed. So he's sneaking in my bedroom to go on my bed and sleep on my bed.
Aw. He's just a sleepy
At last,
guy.
my new reign of demonic terror.
Like,
can-
what's wrong with
Whoa.
the
Oh,
12
oh,
dog beds we have?
easy
Or the
now.
futon? Or the chair that he's
It's,
taken? Like, what's
been a
wrong with all
while
these
since
other
I had
places he can
limbs to
sleep?
worry about.
The other one's smell.
All right,
This one, the
here
bed
we
smells
go.
like you.
I'm getting the hang
Yeah,
of
I
this.
guess
It's the
so.
best.
Get
Get
you
your
into that
aroma.
mansion.
My sleepy, sweaty aroma.
Dogs do
Now,
like that. They're weird.
marvel at my mastery
Yeah.
of impersonation.
For real. Ugh.
Okay, I will be RB. I need to grab a snack really
No.
quickly. Oh
No.
my god. Oh
You
my
better,
god.
you better take it with you. Go mobile.
Oh yeah? Just carry the computer with me?
Yep. Yep.
Just no, go ahead. I'll be right. I'm literally probably just gonna cut off a hunk of cheese, some bread.
Yar, one of the governor's guards, I be. I be adoring the legend of Monkey Island so much, and oh, forget it.
Monkey. Monkey. He's almost there. Come on. Monkey.
That about does it for my shift. You know what to do. Keep everyone out of the mansion at all costs. No exceptions.
Yeah. Do I tell you how to do your job?
You okay, Walt? You sound weird.
Oh, it's allergies. You know, from the poodles.
Oh, right. Stupid mutts almost took a bite out of me last week.
Our diabolical scheme is working perfectly.
Okay,
Get up to
let's
the mansion
go.
and find Threepwood. I'll keep
Are
watch.
diabolical. Diabolical.
Absolutely
we meet
diabolical.
Go away, please.
Nope. Nope.
Not today, thank you. Important gubernatorial business going on.
Yep.
I told you no more autographs. Leave me alone.
Kicking the door open. Let's go.
Would you be quiet? My wife is sleeping.
We
We'll
must
gather you
wait for
to
the
crew.
cheese eater.
Oh my gosh. Wimpod chat.
I am back. Here I come. Wee. I hear.
Ah! Look, Lutykins, we have company. They must want to hear all about your courageous deeds. Oh, but honey pumpkin, I'm busy with my memoirs. I can't be disturbed or I'll miss my deadline. Now, we mustn't be rude. And look, they have a meet and greet ticket.
Oh, all right. Welcome to the official Legend of Monkey Island meet and greet event. Your once-in-a-lifetime chance to hear all the seafaring adventures
God,
of
rest
the
in peace
mighty
on your
pirate
head.
Guybrush Threepwood. Straight from the legend himself. No food or drink permitted during the event. Please keep your hands and feet inside the mansion at all times. The Trial and authorities are not responsible for any loss of property, injury, or death incurred during the presentation.
Banana!
The legend begins right here on Melee Island,
Banana.
on the day of my arrival. The pirate leaders
Banana.
immediately recognized my natural talents. And so did Governor Marley, who was instantly
Banana.
swept off her feet. Unfortunately, there was one pirate who refused to acknowledge my obvious greatness. The ghost pirate LeChuck, who was also smitten with Elaine
know.
and spirited her away to the mysterious Monkey Island. Gathering a loyal crew and the finest ship available, I sailed in search of LeChuck's pirate lair. Having single-handedly concocted a powerful root beer to destroy ghost pirates, I cornered LeChuck and gave him the biggest spritzing of his afterlife. I kept the bottle. It's one of my most treasured possessions. Unfortunately, it's true what they say. You can't keep an undead, obsessive, vindictive, demonic sea scourge down. I had to tangle with LeChuck again before finally ridding the world of his evil once and for all. I returned to Monkey Island triumphant, married my beloved Elaine, and we set sail on our honeymoon. Then, why can't I remember? And what was with that weird fog anyway? Once everyone learned of my heroic deeds, they insisted I become governor of Melee Island. And that concludes your premium meet and greet session. Cheers!
Could you imagine if you actually like bought
Thanks
a
for
meet and
stopping
greet
by.
with somebody? And that's what it was. Just him just like
be sure to
saying all the
check out
shitty
our
stuff.
Exclusive merchandise.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
we have gifts for the whole family. Oh, and please.
Embarrassing.
My wife is
Right.
very.
It says GG. It says GG.
Yeah. Sorry, no.
Hanging out, huh, Geech? Hi, Brandy. Welcome in. How are you? Thank you for being here. Hi, Floorball. Oh, she's sleepy though. They are. So, did you ever play is it Secret or Legend? Is it Secret? It's Secret, right? Secret of Monkey Island? The Monkey Island games? Yeah, so they just did a Secret of Monkey Island update, which is what we're doing right now. She's getting antsy. She doesn't want to be up here. Yep, she's gone. She's immediately gone as soon as I put her down. She's like, I'm out. But yes, to answer your question, Brandy, yes, they are still doing updates. They just did this, like I said, they just did the Secret of Monkey Island one. They update like a lot of in-game stuff, like competitive, like the PvP stuff.
Intake immediately.
Played in like 2 or 3 years. Oh. That was the last of my water. Alright, see, I wasn't me. Like, you can't, this wouldn't, see? It wouldn't open before. Oh, wait, it's this. You have to open this. And then can you do this? Yep.
Oh.
Played it when I first got it, and my friends stopped playing. Yeah. I just got other friends into it. The friends who stopped playing it, I just got other friends into it instead. But yeah, it's a big game to pick up, honestly.
There's treachery afoot.
Like, there's a lot to do, a lot to learn as a new player.
I love it.
I also feel like it's not very, I have dog hair on me now. I feel like it's not very new player friendly either. Like the community, I mean, it's really not very new player friendly.
Pathetically easy to manipulate. Once I'd convinced him.
Brandy, how are you?
Hero,
what have you been playing? Are you excited for? You excited for Nicolas Cage tomorrow?
So long as he believes he's the legend of Monkey Island, he'll never want to leave this place. And it's all thanks to this. Pirates on your precious
all over the place with games lately, really? Yeah, same. Same. I finished Subnautica on Friday, and I am honestly really surprised with how much I ended up having an emotional connection to finishing that game. Like, I went through a little crisis. I was like, what do I do when I finish it?
And once this burning blade is restored, those waters will be mine to rule as I see fit. So you see, I really can't let you stand.
The memes will be, they will.
Unfortunately,
You know the feeling?
my
You're just like,
skeletal
now I know,
shipmates
like
have gotten
literally,
mighty restless, keeping
I
watch
finished
on
it Friday,
Bree.
not expecting to
I'm
finish it
sure
on
they'll
Friday.
take good care
And
of
then
me
I
while I
had
set
my
sail
entire
for
streamathon the
Monkey
rest of the
Island.
weekend, and I was like, fuck, what do I play now? Oh, I had the hiccups. So it's been a lot of like bullshit, switching games, playing with friends who, I'm so sorry, I have the hiccups now. Playing with friends who hop in, etc. Because I finished the game that I was planning on playing. Alright, I can't talk for a minute. I have to hold my breath.
No.
Okay, maybe it's gone.
How are they doing this?
Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop.
They're not so tough after all.
Boom, 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 boom.
So after this, we'll be where we were before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we killed all the guards. So yeah, this is basically where we were. Yeah.
Then we go to the shop that should be open now.
The
Yeah.
voodoo, yeah, the voodoo shop, and then after that is where we left off. I think.
Yeah, because she needs the book, right? We have 199, so we literally need one more coin for the
Oh.
book. So she's got to have a single piece of 8 in here.
I want root beer so bad.
I know.
Thanks to you, LeChuck has withdrawn, and root beer has rid this place of his evil
It does kind of make me want
influence.
root beer.
The power of Mojo can return at last. We have much to discuss, but I sense you may have unfinished business here on Melee Island. When you are ready to depart, return to me here. I shall be waiting.
Shall we wait?
Alright, so she doesn't have any piece. We need one piece of 8.
As you have learned, the memory of this island has become a prison for Guybrush. A cage crafted from his own vanity.
Yeah, we literally need one single piece of 8. There's gotta be one around. No, we need one.
Of his pirate lord. If he is not stopped, then he will continue.
Oh no, it's so itchy.
But the Chuck's lair lies deep beneath Monkey Island. And only
Huh.
Nope.
Yeah, we literally need one. We have 199. We need 200 for the book.
Oh,
Oh, there it is. Who did it? Who got the book?
I don't know.
What? How did that finish that time? Broseph?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Oh my god. So I'm a fucking idiot. So I was talking to her, and she just kept talking and talking. And all of a sudden she's like, and now I'll return you to your ship. And I was like, what? And then it said thing unlocked, and I was like,
oh,
what?
So why didn't it
Okay.
do that last night?
I had no idea.
What the heck?
We have the figurines.
Yeah, we have
More
figurines.
place.
Sailing the seas. Oh, you're not in your
What?
thing anywhere. You literally changed right in front of me.
Oh. Weird.
Yeah, out of your ship's uniform. Or chef's uniform, I guess I should say.
So what do we do now?
I don't know. I think we have to go back and talk to her again, right? Does it, hold on, what does it say in our quests? Nothing, there's nothing in our quests. So I think we go talk, no, that's it, right? Because they come out every so often, like their episodes are released every so often, so that's it, I think.
Oh, yeah, because it's going to be coming out once a month.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
So that was it, okay. So I thought there would be more after that, but that was it, okay. So,
Okay.
do we want to keep sailing?
I'm good to keep sailing.
We can sail for a little bit.
It's the first of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So then
was
the other pieces will come out later.
Yeah, the first of 3 tall tales.
Yeah. Alright, so what do we want to do?
There's a red skull, which is very, gets lots of stuff, but a little risky.
Yeah. I don't know. And we could do, so I think since this is my ship, we can do one of my captains. I think I have a treasure vault.
Sure, yeah.
Let me see what I've got for a captain voyage. Yeah, I have a prize treasure vault haul.
Sure, let's do that.
Do we want to go get an emissary?
Let's
Or
see
do we
who's on
not
the
really
map.
care?
I haven't even looked.
Okay. Okay, that.
Nothing immediately risky on the map.
Yeah, I think we're okay. I mean, we don't. If we're all legend, we don't necessarily have to do emissary other than money.
Yeah. I mean, money good though.
Money is good. Money means clothes for Broseph.
Uh-huh.
The British construct is going on. We gotta go. Get out of the storm.
We're super close to Port Merrick. I'll go there.
Okay. Alright, I'm turning my lights. Yeah, I'll turn my camera. Just for now, because I've only got 3 hours left, and I am getting very tired. So.
Oh, Port Merrick's to our right, directly to our right. If you want to go there. Yeah, whenever you're done, that's absolutely fine.
There's a shipwreck right in front of us, too.
It's Reapers.
Well, that's the Reaper. I thought the Reaper's bounty looking farther. Oh, no, that is Reapers right in front of us. Never mind.
I don't like this song. New song. There you go. That's a good one. Did you?
No.
A splash. Turn around and see you coming back up the ladder.
No, I didn't. I not fall off.
That's going in the next rating video. Did you? No. And you're just coming up the ladder. God, it's so funny. Did you just no?
No.
Like you already knew what I was gonna say. It does not let you pick a different song if your crewmates are playing a song.
Weird.
Yeah, because I was trying to play this one.
So what emissary do we want to put up?
Oh, I don't care. What's everyone's lowest? My boat. I mean, Souls is technically still my lowest, but it doesn't really matter because I'm already a pirate legend. Oh wait, what's like the what do you call it this month?
Out of the 3, merchant is my lowest, but
I think that's a skeleton ship in front of us. Oh yeah.
yeah, it's very lit up.
Yeah.
The 10 sirens. Wow.
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 Oh, and we should grab a storage crate.
Yeah.
So what do we want to? Gold hoarders or?
Probably gold hoarders is good with me.
Yeah.
I think Portland's not gold hoarders.
Hmm.
2 weeks. Where is the big one?
Here, my gold hoarders.
I am almost at you.
There. 1 vote down.
Yeah.
Is that it, really? Yep. Click to meet the Hunter's Call at any sea post. Okay. Where is... No. Let's look it up. Okay. Hi, Franklin. Thank you.
Love your face.
Joseph says hello. I love them. They're so nice. They are very nice. They are very nice. It's been good. It's been really good, Franklin. I'm definitely running low on steam. Getting kind of tired. But it's been good. I've played some games with friends. I finished some Nautica. I started Forever Skies, which has been a lot of fun. I've been playing a lot of Remains. I played a lot of Fallout. It's been nice. It's been nice. Not gonna lie though, I'm gonna sleep really good. I'll probably end. I'm gonna end at 12. Hopefully I'll make it to 12. And then I want to play just a little tiny bit of Forever Skies before bed. Because I want to get to the next tower that I was at. And then, yeah, I'll sleep. And then tomorrow I'll sleep. It'll be great. What time is it now? It is 9:16, so I've got just under 3 hours left. Sea of Thieves might have been not a smart choice while I'm tired, because I don't sail, because I can't sail. But it'll be fine. But I do have to go piss girls, so. So, watch my banana in the sunset. No,
Watch
I'm
your
Eastern.
banana in the sunset.
I'm Eastern. I live in Tennessee, but I'm still Eastern. Yeah. Alright, guys. Watch my banana in the sunset, and I will BRB.
That's a fine banana in the sunset. Franklin, how was your vacation? We're going towards a galleon. I think it's a Skelly. I think it's the Skelly that you saw earlier, Aaron. I don't know if we want to go for it. Is that sloop right there, or is that just that little island? Right in front.
A little island.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna drown because I can get my equipment wheel back up here.
Tennessee has dumb time zones, so they're better than that nonsense in Kentucky. Interesting. That's good. I drank and read. Oh, that sounds actually legitimately really nice. Usually at the same time, sometimes in a hot tub. Oh. Okay, that sounds like extremely nice. I think it might be this island we're going to.
I will be back in a few.
Yeah, no problem. I'll go check it out.
I haven't started drowning yet. It was weird.
Very strange.
Like usually you start doing the glub 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 thing, but
Yeah. Glub, glub, glub.
maybe I've glitched out and can't drown in this game right now.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I'm not drowning.
That's wild. You have developed a secret superpower.
Huh. I guess I should swim back up and catch a mermaid, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Yeah, like I'm... Yeah, you're waiting for me.
Hmm.
Huh.
I kind of want to go underwater now and see if I drown.
Yeah, but like I can't bring up like equipment, chest, or anything.
Oh.
Like I can't. Like I can bring. Like, I have to go like into like the equipment menu, but I can't like bring up the wheel, so I can't bring up like the Golden Wayfarer or anything like that.
Maybe you want to start over, like restart your game or whatever.
I don't know. I mean,
You can. I mean, you can just join back in.
yeah. I'll see if there's like get some skellies to spawn here or something.
Hmm.
Or those elemental thingies. Alright, so that's not working. Alright, well then. To the next island.
Yeah, you can just restart.
I'll just see if usually dying fixes the glitch. I've had this happen, like something similar happened to me before, but like that time I could drown, so.
Oh. Hmm.
Weird.
Yeah. Got good wind in them sails, yeah. Sure enough.
Are we in the right direction?
Yes.
Are we what, Erm?
I said, are we pointed in the right direction?
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly.
Well, it could go a little slightly to the left, but
We gotta go to the left anyway to avoid the big rock.
mm-hmm. To the left.
Everything Broseph owns in a box to the left.
And
To the left. There's ever a Pinky movie I wanted to end with Pinky holding up a banana inexplicably and sailing into the sunset. Hashtag only Pixel things. You know what the funniest part is? Is there's so many things about me and like my personality and just like whatever that people at work like have no concept about, they have no idea about. But like people on my stream are just like, yeah, no, that's normal for her. I was like, these are people that I spend, 40 hours a week with and stuff. A daywalker, so I'm going off to sleep. Good night. I hope you have a good night, Franklin. Thank you for being here. Enjoy your sleeps.
oh, we gotta go left. Hard
I was
left.
watching anime. Can someone give me a recap? So we finished what we were doing, and now we are doing what is called a vault. and it's just gonna be a lot of treasure that we have to get out of a vault as quickly as possible.
We have to go more left.
Yeah, go left again. Might be this island here, maybe? Like, it kind of doesn't point directly at it, but it is turning as we're turning. It just keeps saying
Keep those
go
people in
left,
the
go
deepest
left.
dark.
Oh shit, suddenly it went, holy. Wait, what? Suddenly
Good
it
night,
went right.
Franklin. Good night, Franklin. Have a good night.
No,
Good night. Yeah, suddenly it just shot right. I don't know what's happening.
Interesting.
there's a or sunken ship right in front of us.
Mm-hmm. You can stop for that. Hmm.
Is it this little island to our right?
Maybe.
I can't bring it up, so I'm not.
I didn't. I have one
Yeah, I think
piece
it is.
left, but I ate a lot of pizza. I ate almost the whole pizza today. Like, this one piece of pizza, well, this is all that's left of an entire pizza. So, I almost finished the pizza. I do need more water, though. My water is empty.
Are we going to the shipwreck first?
We can probably do both. The shipwreck.
DJ says hi.
Hi, DJ.
I can do the sunken ship since seems like I can't drown. So
Since you can't drown.
I
You
can't.
say that and then watch you drown.
I might, but I tried and I didn't.
Yeah.
But it does take a little long, you know? The hangnail.
Is the treasure I'm letting go rising?
Yep. Yes, it is. I will grab it in just a minute. Where's Jack? Jack? Jack! What are you doing?
Yeah, I can't drown. I haven't gotten oxygen once yet. I haven't even started, like, struggling for oxygen. Well, this is fun. Kind of broken,
Oh,
but
who's mermaiding? I heard the oh yeah, they're here. They're
feel like
fighting.
probably coming.
They're coming for you because they're hitting me. But yeah.
Grumpy.
Oh, I just can't get whatever that last. Oh no, I got it. Cool. Got it all. Oh no, there is one more, and I don't know how to get it.
There's one more. Should be a couple wood crates.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, it picked it up. I do like that they adjusted the harpoon and it'll kind of correct itself, but also I hate that update because sometimes it corrects itself when you don't want it to, and you're like, no, I'm trying to grab this.
Please, no.
Please, no. Still no drowning wood chip. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. These mermaids are really, really trying. They're really trying for me.
They really be trying, eh?
Hmm. Like, they really are. Like, they have not stopped spitting at me.
Am I like impervious to all them? No, they can hurt me.
Yeah, I think the drowning might be system-wide because I swam all the way from the island into the ship, and I'm in the ship now, and like nothing. I'm not.
We just don't drown anymore in the Sea of Thieves.
You
Why
just
would
don't
we,
drown.
You know? What would be the point in that? It's so silly. Why would you drown?
Wow.
Yeah. I'm swimming back to the ship now through the merfolk. They're so angry. Oh god, they're hurting me, huh? I'm swimming so
Ow, they
fast.
so angry.
They're so angry. Yeah,
Why? Why you make them so angry?
we should go do we
Want
should
ramen?
go do we should go do shrines.
Oh no, not tonight. But I definitely want to do shrines.
But we don't have to breathe.
Well, he's the only one who does that.
No, I did too. I just said I swam all the way from the island. I went all the way from the island into the ship, swam around in the ship, and then came to our ship without going above water. Without struggling. So it's probably you too.
If I drown,
I drown.
motherfuckers.
You might get hit by the sirens though.
I probably will.
That's probably gonna get you before the drowning.
Is Bug going to be good or mean today? I don't know. Think you're getting shot? I know. It's my life.
It's my life.
It's now or never. It's never or never.
Now I
See,
can
you're not drowning. Did you die?
Your mom died. Well, that's
I
mean. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that.
Oh my god.
No, I didn't.
imagine, though.
I didn't. I'm
She
so
actually
tired. I know, and then I was like, fuck, what if, like, I actually did? I'm not going to live forever. I mean, I know, I didn't, like, it was supposed to be a your mom joke, and it did not come out good. But it's mean. It is
Shall we
mean.
go to the next island?
Sure.
Yes.
Those are, I know, that's what I was like. I was just trying to make a your mom joke, and it came out, and I was like, and then it's the second it came out, even as it was coming out, I was like, no, take it back. Rewind, take it back. I'm gonna die from these mermaids, though.
Oh, there's a Reaper on the map now, level 1 though. Going, and they're in the north.
The north.
Although we are kind of going like
The north.
They're like a little bit away from us. They're heading away from us though. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry. Baby, don't fear the Reaper.
No, I played Subnautica. You definitely fear the Reaper.
The Reaper.
There's so much water in my boat. There's water in my boat.
Watery bowl.
Water in my boat.
We've got enough map fragment to like figure out where the treasure is, but I don't know which island it is.
Kissy?
It's like at least 2 islands.
Not 1 island, but 2 islands.
2 islands. Like it's like 1 island as far as like naming goes, but like it's like 2 separate pieces.
Yeah, no, I know. Where are we? So it's not gonna be very far from where we are. Although it's usually not very far from where we like find the
Yeah,
stuff.
it's usually in the same region at least. No.
Give me like 3 minutes and I'll have the next map piece for you.
Okay. Yeah, you might just like. Yeah. You got this. Oh. Oh, it's Salty Sands.
Salty Sands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do we want to get the 3rd map piece? Just
Well, because we don't know where the X is. Do we?
Yeah, it's right on the tip.
1.
Look at.
That's 1.
Isn't it? It's a vault.
Yeah,
isn't
there's
it? So
1.
won't it-
There's 1.
Oh,
There's only. Yeah,
won't
we can go.
No, we can go get we can definitely go get the 3rd one just to be safe. I don't care. It gets us more.
Yes, you do.
Emissary. I care not. Also, I notice you've missed a spot with your trinkets, and I'm a little disappointed.
Did I really miss a spot? Or did I choose to save it for something else that I'm saving up for?
Oh my god, I don't know. But it's like a really
Yeah.
out of the way one, so like.
Exactly.
You did just get to Monkey Island.
I can't wait to put them on to my boat.
Where did I miss a trinket?
Oh, right over here, right where I'm standing. I'm the trinket now.
Ah. Oh yeah, because I usually use this spot for when we do what you call it, Like when expensive chests I stash back there.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get stuck on the trinket. That's why there's not one there.
Oh, holy! There's a lot of map pieces. There's like 2 more map pieces to go.
Oh yeah, I think we're good with that one though.
That's crazy. Okay, so we're basically gonna just head like directly north. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like miles? Nautical miles? I don't know.
Nautical miles? Nautical blocks?
Nautical blocks.
Tell me when we're painted north because we're in a storm, so the compass is just spinning.
Oh, okay, hold on. You're currently south. You're currently pointed directly south right now.
I'll
tell you when you're north. You are painted north.
Narf.
A little bit more.
I've got to get around the island here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You are currently pointed northwest. And you'll want to be like northeast, so. But if you just go north, it'll be fine. Still bump into it. A little more to the right.
Yeah, the wheels fighting me every way here, so.
Yeah.
You're fine.
You're fine.
You're fine.
You are still pointed northwest, just letting you know.
Whoa!
I got the whole... The storm is twisting our boat.
It's just boat noises.
Just boat noises. You are pointed almost at the island, actually. There. Good. Good direction again.
That was close.
A little more north, but yeah. It's not the big one in front of us. It's more north now. It's like pretty much directly north at this point. We kind of went a little bit east.
I am the anchor. Oh, I was the,
The
anchor, but
anchor.
I'm not anymore, apparently.
Randy, I am the liquor. The Reaper is facing us, but still a number of blocks away. I doubt they can see us. I think they're just sort of bopping around.
They have to be 5 to see us, right?
Not sure. Depends how clear the day is.
No, but on the map, I mean. If they're a Reaper and we have Emissary.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant 5 blocks. Sorry.
They have to be a level 5 to see us on the map.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
there's another wreck out in front of us. There's something up beside us here on the starboard, but there doesn't seem to be any treasure, just supplies.
Do we want to go for the shipwreck?
I suppose so. I reckon.
I reckon. If
If we can't drown, we may as well use it to our advantage.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy for like shipwrecks and shrines and stuff if you can't drown anymore.
Well, yeah, but it might come back. I mean, it will, obviously. It's just like a glitch or whatever, but...
Raise that front sail.
Succoon in chat.
Already got the back one.
I'm emptying my pockets. I can grab, fill them up in there. There we go. Whoosh. We're swimming faster too, I noticed. Not sure what's going on.
Banking error in player's favor.
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
I would scream for some ice cream right now.
Oh.
I don't know why I do this all the
order
time.
some, actually.
Do it. Do it.
I actually might order some right now. It's my affiliate birthday.
And I'll ice cream if I want to.
Oh, wait,
Did you just change your color? You
Who?
are?
I'm drowning. Yeah.
Oh.
We spoke too soon.
Okay, I'm not
I'm
crazy.
not.
Okay. I'm not crazy. I was looking at it and I was like, weren't they literally just like green a minute ago? I was like looking at it and I for a second I was like, am I crazy or was DJ just green? Like that's kind of how I can like okay, so people think that I skip over chat sometimes, but really in reality it's like if I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'll like look for their messages and like kind of like continue my conversation with them and then like read the messages in between. So sometimes I'll like look for somebody's color because I'm like, oh, the last person I was talking to was DJ, and so like I'll look for the green name first and then I'll like look for everybody else and like read everybody else's chats. So it just like screwed me up for a second because I was like, wait a second.
I am still not.
Yeah, I'm not drowning either. I've just been like going back and forth, like just kind of saying. Did you eat? Is eating like the thing that breaks it or something?
I don't know. I hadn't eaten yet.
You haven't eaten?
No.
Huh. Okay, interesting. You're purple now. You are tired, not crazy. I might be just like a little crazy. But it's okay. We don't have to talk about it. I don't see any more treasure. Other than... Oh, hold on. What's this? Exotic silks.
Tuning stick.
Why do we call... It's so funny that people call it that. I've never called it that. Everyone's a bit crazy. That's true. A little tiny bit here and there, right?
But I did. Well, I know I did die to get my. Cause I wasn't drowning, but I also didn't have access to my item for some reason. But then I let the mermaids kill me, and I have access to my item wheels, and I
Let
drowned.
me see if I can get some ice cream. Let's see. Treat myself to some ice cream here. So did I tell you guys what happened when I ordered my burrito the other day?
No.
Okay, so I went to order a burrito, right? And I got it from Taco Bell because it was the only thing that was open. And so I was like ordering, and it was like, hey, if you get $20 worth of food, or I think it was $15 worth of food, you get a free like burrito bowl thing. It's called a power bowl, but it's essentially like a burrito bowl, you know?
Right, yeah, I remember that happening.
Yeah, okay. So I never got the burrito bowl. So, and it was like no big deal because it was free, but like I wouldn't have got like the extra couple bucks worth of food if it, like I was already at like 13. Like I was like, yeah, I'll get $2 more worth of food and then get this burrito bowl, whatever. But I wouldn't have gotten the extra food if it wasn't for this free thing. So I just said, and I was like, hey, didn't get my burrito bowl, like no big deal, whatever. I got $8.66 credit for a free burrito bowl. That because I didn't get it.
That's awesome.
I know, and I was like, I just wanted to tell you that I didn't get my burrito bowl. Like, I not that like you needed to replace it or whatever. I just want to tell you I didn't get my bowl. And they're like, here you go, here's the cost of it. And I was like, but it costs $0. How did you, what?
Okay.
I know, I was like, sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Like, that's not how it works, but I'm not mad.
How far are we from where we have to go?
Halfway there.
Whoa!
I'm so helpful.
We shouldn't be too far, honestly. We're still going straight. Gonna go see if I can like see it. Gonna go look at the map.
To the map.
To the map.
To the map cave.
To the map, to the map.
Everything we need in the... Oh, it's on our left. It's on our left. It's directly to our left.
To the left, to the left.
To the left, to the left. There it is right there.
I'm kind of wondering if we were doing that sunken treasure, if that was the island we had to go to.
A lot of sunken treasures today. Boop. Beep. 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 Boop. Beep. Boop. Beep. Boop. Beep. Boop. Boop. I really hope that robots in the future talk like the Star Wars robots. I hope that influences culture enough that it just like goes forward. That's what it's expected that robots.
That's what they do.
Like. Yeah.
Beep pop. Wop. Beep 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 pop pop. Beep beep pop pop. Yeah, like when R2's sad and he's just like meow. Meow.
monkey. Huzzah. Gather 10. Oh no. Get out of here.
Get out of here, smelly skelly.
Wow. You're discriminating now, huh?
A little.
This. An adorned receptacle.
Ooh. That red skull is just sitting there taunting me. Kraken's Fall. Gold totem.
Kraken's Fall, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the big island kind of just behind us?
Hold on, I'll go look.
Don't actually know. Oh, there's a player. Sloop.
I thought you were in Subnautica. Did you
Kraken's
watch,
Fall.
did you watch a lot of that other game I was playing, that Forever Skies game? Because I really, I know you were there for like a minute, but I really think you'll like it.
The Reaper's gone. Kraken's Fall is like southeast of us, quite a ways.
So we're going to be going by this player's sloop in front of us.
Gross. Yeah, just like full sail it and go right by. Don't even acknowledge them. Try to hope that they don't get dickish. But we have quite a dirty. Kraken's Fall is quite a ways away.
They might be going to the fort over there.
Good for them. It's a little more, it's more east of what we're doing right now. Slightly more. Yes, go do the forks. We can go steal from them after.
Oh yeah,
Hello.
their sails are up. They're doing the fort.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Leave them be.
We don't need to manifest that kind of karma today.
No. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Okay, sorry.
Hello.
Hello. And everyone knows I finished Subnautica. I'm getting Forever Skies. I think you'll really like it. With the red thing in the corner. Ooh, what red thing? That one right there? Did it look like a sea kelp or something? Oh, it looked like the Aurora. That's funny. I miss Subnautica already. And it's only been like 3 days.
Yeah, you should do
But I
some
think-
creative.
Oh, that's what I was going to. I was saying that it would be really funny to do creative with crowd control, but like lower the cost of everything in crowd control, so like they could like, because like if it's creative mode and I can do whatever, and there's no like real rush to finishing the story, then like I can kind of like make crowd control really fun. But I also eventually want to finish do the second one, but people have just told me it's not as good, it's not as long.
These birds
But
off
it's just not good.
for our port.
Oof.
Oh yeah, there's some supplies bobbling in the water there.
No.
Ooh, nice try. Look at how pretty my boat looks at night. Come on, man.
It
It's
is.
so
It's
pretty.
lovely. It's lovely.
Lovely.
Yeah, the lodestar stuff nice at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. And then I
Very
have the sword and the pistol too. Love it.
Very nice ambiance.
Very nice. I like the second one was different. Still like it. Yeah, you can like games and acknowledge that they're different, you know.
So my friend Serenity wants to know. Asked me if her like 10-year-old can watch Demon Slayer, the anime.
I think so.
And
I mean, if they watch anime, like I think they're fine. Like there is like it's a little bloody. Like there is like sword fights. It is a little bloody. But if they watch anime, I think it's fine. I don't think it's scary. I don't think it's really, really super mature. Like there is death in the first episode. And the whole way that they become demons is they have a demon that kills them and they come back. So like, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. I really don't think it's bad. And especially if you watch it in English instead of with Japanese, I feel like they kind of, how do I say this? They kind of childify it.
Yeah.
You know, in English, it has dark parts, but a lot of fun parts. Yeah, like, I think it's really funny. There's a lot of, like, believing in yourself, and, like, I think so. Doesn't have bad language. Overall, it's not that bad. Yeah, it doesn't have bad language. I don't think it's really scary. I don't think it's a really mature subject. Yeah, I would say it's fine.
Okay. Go a little bit to the left. Go more like east.
Okay. You got the Pokemon!
Yay!
Good job, DJ.
You did that.
You did that. Good job, DJ. Good job, DJ. I can't wait for my ice cream.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I want ice cream.
Ice cream. Guys, would you still love me if I had a mustache? But like a full, like,
Yes.
like Colonel Sanders mustache.
Would you style it and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I would
yeah,
twist
absolutely.
it. Like, I would sit here while we were sailing, because I don't sail. I would sit here and I would twist it like this, and I'd be like, you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
you'd be my
full-on
friend
style
still.
and wax and everything.
Yeah, and I would curl it, and I would have it, like, to the side, like this.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that would be a real draw, honestly.
That would that would be the reason to watch, really.
Really, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Or like you could tell like when my depression's really bad because it would just get like really long and scraggly.
I'm all frizzy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a player's salute in front of us.
A mustache, yeah. I think I would have an excellent blonde mustache.
Look at my sword.
I think of my mustache.
Wow.
Look at my sword.
The
Wow, you're so hungry all the time.
Num 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 num. I see
You're
the
so
sloop.
hungry.
Do you think they're gonna be mean?
Oh no, I don't have a gay flag up, so then we might be okay.
Oh my god. if I get, you know how like your characters are always chewing? If I get close
Yeah.
enough to you with my sword, it looks like, because it's like held up. It
Yeah.
looks like you're like chewing it.
No, your sword's not held up in mine. It's down at your hip.
I know, I see it. It's held right up in front of my face in mine.
That's
so
so funny.
sad. That's so
Aw.
sad.
Wait, cause are you blocking?
Yeah, I was holding it up
Oh.
like doing the blocking. Yeah.
No, not on my screen.
Boo!
Boo indeed.
Boo and ew.
Boo and ew. First you're like ew, then you're like ew.
And you're like, ew.
Then you're like ew.
I don't see the sloop anymore. I think they got scared of us and ran away.
Yeah, you better run.
That island.
They're
Is that
hiding.
Thieves Haven?
They're hiding.
Heidi hides.
Thieves
Oh.
nuts.
No, that is possibly Sharktooth Key.
Where are we trying to go?
Kraken's Fall, which is like right in front of us. It's a big one right in front of us.
Wait, did you guys get the key while I was doing stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in front. It's right up here.
Okay.
It was just a chest to dig up. At that
Yeah.
last
There's
island.
sloop over there.
Oh, for God's sakes. The island we're going to is full of sloops, apparently. Oh, big yawnies.
I wonder why Mr.
I don't
Broseph,
know.
who was still up at 5 a.m. when I went to bed.
That sounds like you also were doing the same thing, so...
Yeah, but I was streaming, providing entertainment.
I was entertaining myself.
Yeah, while being entertained by me. Touche.
This is true. This is true.
Touche.
Touche.
Touche, okay?
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you. You know, actually, you're welcome for providing
welcome.
entertainment. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I don't see the sloops. I'm looking for them, and they're like the other side of the island, but like I don't see anybody moving around. I don't see.
They're both behind us.
They're behind. Wait, what do you mean behind? What do you mean they're behind us? They went around behind us?
We drove by them.
Oh. Oh, I was looking at the wrong island.
I understand.
I didn't understand.
I've never used this headset as a headset. I've been like, Roger, I hear you. Roger.
Yeah, me either with this one. The only time that the headset part gets turned on is when I accidentally bumped a button.
Oh yeah, and then you double hear yourself and you're like, what the fuck? Like I can hear myself right now and I hate it.
Well, no, because I guess I've got it like turned off somehow or something like that. But but I'll notice I'll suddenly hear like, because I'll be like I'll like rub like the
Suddenly
end
hear
or something like that.
See, this doesn't change anything. This is supposed to be the other volume, I thought. This doesn't change anything, I don't think.
I have the key.
At least one does. It's off. Now I can't hear. Now I can't hear. Now I hear. Okay.
What?
What? What do you say?
What are you doing?
Alright, are we going to get the robbed blind while we are doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Carve 'em up, Kavanaugh's behind you. Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, hello, sir. Can I help you?
Good job. Good job, team.
Way to go.
Way go.
Way go.
Did it. Just like that's the rest of the stream. Fruit crate. There you go, Bruce, if that's for you. Get inside.
I cannot fit in the fruit crate. Oh no. I don't know where I belong now.
I don't know where to go.
Too much fruit for the crate.
Too much fruit for the crate.
Too much fruit. I don't know. Is this one under like a waterfall or something?
It's over here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, should we bring the boat around?
Ooh, probably.
Yeah, we should bring the boat
that's
around.
far away to go.
Yeah.
That's a pretty far ways to carry that.
Yeah. Here.
Unless, is there a, no, I don't see one. I don't see a rowboat, but I don't see one.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
sometimes the
Nyan,
rowboat
how
is
you
big,
doing?
but-
How's things?
I will go grab the boat.
Okay. We'll clear the area
Busy
of
week?
gold.
Full pouch.
Still the PC, then had to
No.
replace the controller for your VR headset. Was that... That wasn't too hard, was it? That's just like a controller, right? Upper half had lots of Z zones. That sucks. I want to try VR, but I don't know what I would want to try. I feel like I would want something a little bit like low impact, you know what I mean? Ooh, my tattoo is all like. Do you have tattoos, Espresso? Do any of yours like
Yeah.
flare up like just occasionally, just for no reason?
No.
They'll just like raise on the skin. Doesn't
No.
happen. It happens to mine
Sometimes they
occasionally.
get like itchy though.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I
the
have that
skin gets
happen
drier.
from time to time. Like it just like they just like raise a little bit. If you want something fun, Rec Room is free and it can be played in VR. Wait. Wasn't Rec Room on the PlayStation? Like, wasn't that built into, like, PlayStation something or another? Game Room? Was that what it's called? It's on PSVR and also on Quest. What am I thinking of? Can we play it on mobile? Really? Well, the mobile ones are the ones that you, like, put your mobile... You put your phone in the headset thing, right? Man, I wonder if Remains is on Switch. Because that would be so sweet. It is on Switch. How much is it on Switch?
I think
don't
that's
know
almost
how.
as close. That's
I
about
was
as
gonna-
close as you can get. Yeah.
It's $1.99 on Switch. I'm getting it on Switch.
Oh, that's
Like,
funny.
seriously. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. $1.99. I've been vibing out with that game hard. I debated trying a VR set, but I have other things that I should buy. I know, that's why I'm like, there are very more important things that I should be getting. Like a 5th monitor.
Yeah, it seems to be about as close as I can get.
Currently saving for a new. Oh well, that's different. That's like part of your business, Mo. That's different. That's different. My God, this Uber driver, Broseph, is like so slow.
We called him like 2 hours ago.
I know. We made our reservation and everything. Good VR is expensive. Very expensive. Yeah. Capuchu in chat. I don't know. I just feel like everybody keeps talking about all the games they play. Like, they're like, oh, I played Phasmophobia. Oh, I played Fallout. Oh, I played, you know, and it's like, oh my God, those games would make me actually sick in VR.
Should I place a token?
They're releasing Resident Evil Village in VR too.
Nope. Nope. That would actually make me throw up. Like, and not even because it's Resident Evil, but actually, like, that would make me throw up.
I want to try all those in VR. I'd love it.
Actually, speaking
High
of
refresh
Resident
rates?
Evil,
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Like,
I was reading that they're expecting to renounce Resident Evil 9 in the fall.
but also, I feel like the whole not moving would take getting used to. Like, you would feel like you would need to move, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the sensation of it being completely isolating.
Oh yeah, I know a couple guys that work that have like good VR setups, and they said it's wild. Like, the one, his wife almost puked because they were doing like the tightrope walking,
Yeah.
and like he'd look down, and you were like 50 stories up, and it felt like, and he had like a good VR setup, so it felt like you were like 50 stories up.
I got Shark Medallion. Should I place?
Yeah.
I usually don't until you have all 3, but go for it. Oh, did you do it already?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I feel, I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing, but I feel like it makes it go faster. I don't know. As long as somebody's getting the gold and looking for the coins, we're okay. Gargo's still throwing out first playing some of your... What game do you think is, like, the most motion sick you've gotten?
I don't know.
Anything that has, like, a lot of heights up and down sometimes bother me, but, like, I don't have, like, a height, like, I'm not, like, afraid of heights and stuff, but it just, like, eventually will start to bother my eyes if it's, like, up and down and up and down and up and down a lot. Like, that's why I feel like only up might not only will it frustrate me, but I also feel like it just wouldn't sit well with me.
I get really uncomfortable with heights, but not, like, sick in games. I just get like a lot of like stomach drops and anxiety.
Mm.
I got another medallion.
Alright, so there's one more medallion then.
Yeah.
So is somebody doing gold? Which ship are you doing gold or are you running?
I got a medallion actually right in front of me. Oh, I gotta
Okay,
be able
cool.
to get over this.
Okay.
But it's,
Ooh, the door's
You
going, the
see
door's
one?
going.
oh, I can't get up there.
Oh no.
It's. I get through this way.
How did I
They're
jump
so
this
hard to
before?
get.
I got it, hold on here.
No, I
Shit.
can't. Oh. Okay.
Stop! I don't want that. I want the medallion. Okay, I got the medallion.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh. No,
got it, you
no.
got it, you got it, you
No,
got
I got it. Okay. Enter solution. Oh shit,
Oh
shit.
no,
we
it doesn't
gotta-
let
now we gotta
you.
spin the thing- Now we gotta spin the thing. Blocks.
What is it? What is it? Show me. We have to look at the thing. Crown.
Brown.
Little doubly things?
What does that mean? Chain and then 2 chains.
2 chains.
Go again, go again. Ooh. What's the 4th one?
I don't know. I can't see through the light.
There's only 3 solutions in here.
Maybe the 4th one doesn't matter.
No, the 4th one. Here it is. It's gotta be this one. It's not that.
1, 2.
Oh, maybe it won't work because the braziers.
Yeah, maybe. Huh.
Yeah, see, it won't change. Oh, see, this one's not even right. That's why. Hold on.
I guess, yeah, if you guys still can't drown, it doesn't matter. You figure the puzzle out.
Yeah. How do we get
Hey,
out?
can you push the button? No? Okay, push it again.
No. Okay.
Nothing?
No.
Push it again.
Nothing.
Nope, see, this one's not right either. This one is vertical 2 chains. Okay. Push it.
No.
Okay. I think it's this one. I think this is the answer. Try that one.
Yes.
So, okay.
Oh my god, is it gonna open again?
No. We can't even take this one.
Oh.
We can't even take this one.
No.
Yeah, there it goes, floating up to the top there.
Okay, but what if... I don't know. Oh, this sucks so bad. Why wouldn't it open again while you're like... If you get it. Look how much treasure's up here.
Mm-hmm.
How do
That's
we
the
get
whole
out?
point. We have to die somehow.
How?
I don't know. But we can still get all the gold, I guess.
Yeah.
So much gold. I know.
There's so much treasure up here. I'm so upset.
Wait, hold on.
It
What if
should
I push
open
this?
if you
Can you push
solve
this?
it.
I agree. Like, if you... Because there's, like, a weight thingy on this, you know? Like...
Yeah, there's so much treasure.
How are we gonna die?
Uh-oh.
How are we gonna die?
I don't know.
No, that's the whole thing, is like these things are puzzles. And like you're supposed to get as much treasure as you can before you potentially drown and die. But we're glitched right now and we can't drown.
What if... Oh god, I honestly have no idea what to do here.
Okay,
Alright,
gotta
I'm gonna-
run the dog out. He's starting to shake and pant at me. So I'll be
Okay,
back
okay,
in
okay.
a minute.
Alright, so does eating change it? Like, does eating make it... Want me to Google? I mean, you can Google. You can Google, but I don't know what to Google. Like, undrownable? Stuck in treasury? Unable to drown?
We live here now.
Hmm. See, I feel like this was a pressure plate, but because the water's in here, it's not working? I don't know. My Sonic should be here in like 5 minutes.
Oh my god, I want Sonic.
Sonic.
I want these treasure chests up here. Ah!
I know.
I hate it.
The reliquary one especially. Come here, can I like hurt you?
No.
We don't, because we're on the same, yeah.
I think we might have to like come back in, like let Aaron stay in, and then we come back. We have to leave and come back.
We're in a treasury. Do you know what's this treasury called? Do you remember?
Oh, it's the Kraken Island. Kraken Island treasury.
Yeah, we're on Kraken Island and it's the treasury. Like, the door is not gonna open. That's like the whole point of these things, is the door closes and you're supposed to drown and you're supposed to die. That is the point. But we're glitched and we can't. And opened it?
Yeah, but how would they do that? They'd have to go on the whole journey.
Yeah, potentially.
And hope they got it?
Alright, my crew. Crew management. No.
I don't want to leave either because I don't want to lose the
settings.
The
is there like
water. I don't want to ever leave.
I don't ever want to. I know, but we're stuck in here. We have to leave. Like, we have to. We can't do anything else. Like, we're stuck. Like, you're supposed to drown and die, or you're supposed to get out and move everything. I'm really bummed about the Chest of Fate, though.
That's the first time I've even seen it.
Oh, no, I've seen it. Or Ancient Tributes, I'm sorry. The Chest of Ancient Tributes is the one that I'm kind of bummed about. Where did you take it back? You take it back. Won't go. Kraken's Fall? Yeah. Days at Sea. 65 days at sea. Raise lantern to light brazier.
So like there's like okay, there's a shrine of ancient tribute. Are you supposed to take the chest of ancient tribute to the shrine of ancient tribute and leave it there?
No, you'd sell them.
No, but like what if there's like a secret and a secret?
Well, we can't know because we live here now, Broseph.
We live here. I mean, this is fine. This is a really nice place to live, I feel like. I feel like we can probably nibble on, like, seaweed that grows up through here, you know? Maybe we can cultivate that and, like...
Alright, well, this one's my seaweed. That one's your seaweed. And listen, I know you like to eat late at night, so I better not catch you nibbling on my seaweed.
I will be nibbling on all of the seaweed.
No.
I'll
You
be nibbling on these
get your
blue things here.
Listen,
and
I'm
these
gonna go get my ice
tubes.
cream. I'm gonna go get my ice cream, and there better not be a single nibble taken out of any of my seaweed.
I will nibble on... Look at this seed over here, looks pretty good. Yeah, we got a crop here. I think we got this. I will not give up the chest of ancient tributes, and no one can make me. I will hold it, and it will be mine. Oh my god, the treasure is trying to sink? That's so funny. I didn't even think it would sink in here. I wonder... This. You go in here. So if the treasure sinks, if this is a weighted thing here...
That's pretty bad that the treasure is sinking and we are still here.
But like, if the treasure sinks, if this sinks, wouldn't that weight it back down?
What? You can try it.
I left it in
I don't
the
think it's gonna
thing.
open the door.
No, it won't. But like, I just hope, you know, like look at the treasure sinking down here, the opulent curio and the...
Well, like, let's see. Maybe Mo will come back with something and it's like, yeah, if you wait 20 minutes it'll open again.
Oh my god, that would make me so happy. That would make me
Well,
so happy. But I think we're gonna have to restart, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Well, no. I think Aaron can stay. We can leave and just come right back.
Yeah, but then it won't be a captain ship and we'll have to run everything in by hand.
Maybe. But it might do it, like... It might give me the whole thing, like... You were out of in a crew, whatever. You know?
Maybe.
Like, as if it were a crash. Like, what if I don't... What if I don't quit the game? What if I just, like, force quit it?
I don't know.
Like, Alt F4 the game. It's a resettable cell, but usually sells them. Yeah. I think we're gonna have to quit it. I think we're glitched, honestly.
Quick.
Like, as much as I would have liked to, wait it out, I think we're stuck. I think our undrownable glitch is making us stuck right now.
No.
Well, do you guys want me to get all of the treasure gathered up here, sell it, or do you care about the money, or?
Well, we'll leave and come back to you.
Well, yeah, but this is Krista's ship.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah,
gonna
that's what we're
disappear.
hoping.
Whenever, so what happens is, when the captain leaves, like the ship just stays until everybody from the crew has left.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking if I don't like leave the game, I'm thinking if I just like Alt F4 the game and join again, it might like put me back in my instance like it does sometimes.
Okay, are we Alt F4ing then?
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate to do that. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart.
you know, me too.
I know, I got a big ice cream DJ to treat myself. For 3 years of amazing friends. Doesn't look like it's saying that you were a part of a thing, but let's see.
It did that for me.
Mm-hmm.
It let me. It
Yeah,
let me
it
back
came
on.
up. It came up, yep. It just took a second. It just took a second. So it should recaptain my ship then.
Oh, yeah, you both joined the crew back there.
It is Butterfinger and Cookie Dough. Because it's a blizzard.
Oh my god.
Sonic. The no drowning glitch is common. Is it really? Is there a way to trigger it? Is there a way to trigger it and make it happen? Specifically at the Shark Vault? Really? That wasn't the Shark Vault. That's interesting to know. That
Wonder
it's
if I can
common.
drown.
Broseph loads in and immediately tries to drown. So it's still captained, it just doesn't say my name.
Yeah, it will. I don't know if we can. I think the captain has to be like president. It doesn't count as the captain because he left. But I'm not sure. I know in the past when we've had people leave and come back, it's like not worked out.
No, the
letting
captain's
themselves
voyages are
already-
still down
like-
there.
That's good. Ah. Yeah, I need air. Dang it. Shot me.
Funny.
Skeleton.
Hmm.
That's still wild though. That undrownable glitch happens a lot.
Oh, does it? I would like it to happen
Kraken's-
all the time.
Kraken's Fall Vault is called the Shark Vault according to the wiki Reddit.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we've had it since we loaded into the game. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well. But you lost yours.
yeah, I lost mine because I died to them. I intentionally, because when I had my glitch,
Oh, yeah, you died.
I couldn't
You
open
died.
my equipment wheel or anything.
Hmm.
That's right. Oh, I could open my equipment because I was able to eat. Because I ate to see if eating would fix it.
Yeah, see, I couldn't eat. I couldn't open quests. I couldn't anything.
Interesting.
Like I could get equipment, but I had to like pause the game and like go to like the equipment tab and everything because the wheel just wasn't there.
Huh. Mo. Would you ever play Sea of Thieves?
It's so good.
On a night when I'm not exhausted, I would totally teach like you and Laz how to play. I'm sure Broseph would be down.
Oh god, no, I hate this game.
I actually do hate this game. But I also love this game. But I mostly hate it. I have a love-hate relationship with Sea of Thieves.
We also have a word quest on this island.
Oh.
It is on Game Pass. That's how I play it, yeah. I'm pretty sure it will always stay on Game Pass because of Microsoft.
Yeah, I think so.
It's specifically Microsoft game. I can't grab whatever is next to the rock. I just keep getting stuck to the rock.
Oh.
I'll move it off there when I get back.
It's an MMO, but like barely. Like we have absolutely. What was that? Okay. Like we have absolutely come across some toxic people, but for the most part. People just be living their lives. You guys are doing great.
I love that in this game, holding like a little goblet is the same as holding like a whole ass treasure chest.
And you cannot run.
Yeah.
Nope. Do not
Like,
run with that cup. Don't you dare.
I figure they like maybe like 2 cups.
No, 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 no. That's ludicrous.
There were a long time ago dual wielding days. And I don't know why you can't dual wield cups.
That's so
Or-
strange.
Like mermaid gems or something.
I wish I'd kept up with this game.
Why?
I don't know how it's changed since. Cause I played this game a little bit when it was first released, but I had no one to play it with, and it was dumb. I think this might have been like a Jeffries thing, where because Jeffries is the reason I own Fallout 76. And he was like, "Get this game, bro. It's gonna be great. We're playing together." Blah blah blah. So I like got it, and I was playing it. I was like, "Are you gonna play it?" He's like, "Nah, bro. I ain't got time for that." I was like, "I'll kill you." He's like, "Bro, I hope you didn't get like the special edition of it." I'm like, "Glad I didn't too."
You did, didn't you?
I didn't.
There's a book here.
Yeah, it gave us another quest,
Oh,
but on a different island.
I see.
Because we've got one reed. There's one more piece of treasure back there.
Okay.
We've got the one reed quest on this island, then another small island that has 5 dig spots on it, 4 dig spots.
Ooh. So many.
A path revealed with Shanty Sound, but first the castaways' camp to the east must be found.
Is that on this island?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do this one. And then we can trade, but I don't want to go to another island and do the other ones. I'm so tired.
That's fine.
Oh, sorry. I was eating ice cream.
Okay, enjoy your ice cream. There's a cup out there.
I see it.
Ice cream it.
I see REAM.
Icy, therefore I am ice cream.
Get to the highest tree with haste and greed. That light shining from high is what you need.
Sounds like you gotta get
go.
high. Get low,
Get high.
Get low, get low.
Cause I got high.
Cause I got high. Da da
Cause
da
I got
da da
high.
da.
Cause I got high. Cause I got
I was
high.
gonna go to class. Then I got
Then
high.
I got high.
Ooh. I could have studied and I could have passed, but I got
Then
high.
I got high.
Da, da, da. Now I'm back here this semester, and I know why. Hey, hey, cause I got high. That's such a good song.
It is a good song. It's so dumb, but it's such a good song.
Yeah.
It's literally a stoner being like, yo, I got fucking high and look at all this shit that I missed.
I was always more the fan of Colt 45.
Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Yeah, that's such a good one too. That is excellent chill stoner time music.
A Stantler in chat.
Stantler!
Stantler! Stantler! Stantler! That's what Stantler would sound like. Stantler! Stantler! Stantler!
Stantler! I hope that it's shiny. I would like a chocolate mint, dear, please.
Gross. Gross.
Chocolate mint is the future.
Chocolate mint.
Where's the highest tree?
Me. I am the Lorax, and I smoke the trees.
DJ, I'm sure you'll get money. You're around a lot. You'll get money.
Oh, I think I see it.
Don't forget to do the Poke Daily at Discord too.
I think you're almost there. Yeah, do your Poke dailies. I think you're at it.
Dead tree. A light shining from high is what you need. That's the lantern.
You did it!
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god.
At the poisoned pirate by the murky pool.
Did it just?
This, I think this might be the.
I thought it crashed. No.
Oh, I just died.
Don't do that.
I know. No big deal. Mark, how you doing, by the way? Oh my gosh. So apparently all you have to do is Poke DA, technically, to get your Poke Daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's all these people in the PCG Discord that do Pokey Daddy. Yo, this person just
Funny.
got an ultra rare reward. Holy shit.
Pokey Daddy.
Pokey Daddy. This one's just Pokey-da. Pokey-da.
Pokey
It's on the hot side tonight. I'm struggling to cool down. Yeah, it's a little warm. It's a little warm tonight. I have my AC on, and even that, I'm just like, ugh, I'm uncomfortable. We have a player sloop.
Where are they? I'll murder them.
Behind this.
Don't you come over here. No, no, no.
No, no, no.
No,
Don't
no,
you
no.
dare you. No, no, no.
Don't you do it. Boat sure do be creaking.
It's just boat noises. It's just boat noises. Ah-da-da-da. Oh my god, now it's stuck in my head. God damn it.
Where's the poison pirate?
The what? Oh, I guess I could look,
Looking.
couldn't I?
It's supposed to be a poisoned pirate by a murky pool.
I found a dead pirate. But he's like by a bucket, so I don't know if that's like poison or not.
Could be because he's like maybe he drank poison water out of the bucket, or maybe he was puking it out of into the bucket.
Is he by
you
a
know?
murky pool?
Is there a murky pool?
Kind of murky, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, then I would
try
do it.
Yeah, but I'm kind of north by north. No, east by. Oh,
East
never mind.
by
I'm
northeast.
dumb. I'm dumb. 6, 7, 8. And we'll load here.
I'm like waiting for the sound. Like I don't want to like get off the boat. He's digging. I see it. I see the little icon. I see the icon.
It's gotta be this guy.
So it's what, 8 paces it says?
Yeah.
8 paces east by northeast.
There we go.
Okay. As a trading company, emissary, complete voyages for any trading company. Be-de-de-de. Amazing. Amazing.
Full treasure chest to 3 gems. Ooh, ooh.
Did they get shifted? Is that a thing?
Shifted?
Yeah, so the books... Yeah, they get shifted.
Oh, yeah, right. Everything you can go around and like fix it after storms and stuff.
Yeah. But not everything, just some stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
If we head
That's so funny.
south, we'll hit a place to sell. Unless you're going somewhere
I
particular.
just dropped sails and started going.
Ah. There looks like a sloop.
Sloop.
In the direction we're going. And I sloop.
And I sloop.
My back.
My back and my back.
And my other back.
And my just mostly just my back. What if I just never stop streaming? What if I just go to sleep tonight and then I go to work and I just come home and just sleep and stream?
Yeah, do it.
Just like go on with the rest of my life, but just live.
That's
Get a
kinda how
GoPro.
Twitch originally was when it started as Justin TV.
Yeah.
There's a
Just to
sloop
do.
exactly where we have to go. So I don't know if we want to go somewhere else. If I go more east, we can go to Morrow's Peak.
Whatever.
Yeah, you go, crank it east. A little more. Right about there.
Megan.
Megan. Going
Loop
in
her
the
up,
circle.
loop
She's
it up.
behind us.
Lar.
Loop her up, loop her up.
Loop-a-doop. Go get my big gun. Be right back.
We're
Get my
Megan.
shark
Oh wow, she's
gun.
like on. Oh, she knocked us.
Oh
Holy
yeah,
shit.
she knocked me right out of the gun menu.
Yeah. Holy. Come on, Megan, where you going?
I got her. I got her attention. I gave her a little shot.
Yeah, I hit her once too.
Do we need to cut sharper or what? I don't know.
It's about sharp as we can cut. We could go in and just stop and do that method. If it feels like she's not.
Just need to
coming
get her
up
over
to
here,
us.
yeah.
Here she comes.
Here she comes. Now we don't have an angle. I don't have an angle.
I don't either.
Oh, I hit her?
She's quite the spicy one. You don't see them come
Why?
up to the boat and just like, very often. Like without charging, you know?
Hmm.
Oh, he's directly behind us. We're getting some pretty deep waves here. Yeah.
Okay, I hit her.
Yeah, I saw that. Good hits, good hits.
Okay, she's going behind, or she's coming around. Where is she going?
Behind. Quickly,
Yeah,
too.
no, but is she gonna cut across, or is she gonna cut behind?
She's coming, she's charging, she's charging, she's charging.
But where?
Right behind, right behind.
Dang. Hi,
Yeah.
OB.
Oh, she
Yeah.
missed. She
I
missed.
saw.
What a goober.
Oh my gosh. The Kraken is a she? Yeah. Blew my mind. Yeah, I think they say it in I think they say it in one of the tall tales.
Daughter.
I've only seen the Kraken up close once and from the distance once. Other than the Pirates of the Caribbean one, obviously. But we're not talking about that one. Where is she?
Up to our port, sorry. She's pretty far away. Should we get close and drop anchor and just let her...
One of the Pirates of the
run
Caribbean,
around
yeah.
us?
Nate is legend. Hello? Question
Where is
mark?
she even?
Why question mark?
I heard
Hello?
her. Oh, I think she's like... I think I just saw a red... Yeah.
I don't hear the music though. There's no music, so...
Yeah.
I'm being lucky. Wait, in all the times that you've played, have you not seen a Kraken? I've literally only seen it twice. And only... Oh, here she is. She's over here. She's
There
just
she is.
chilling. She's not doing anything. What?
These are mighty glitched.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Okay, I hit her again. No, oh, you see Kraken all the time? Oh. I was gonna be like, how have you not seen a Kraken?
Oh, yeah, no, they're good.
see.
Again.
Can't see anything.
She's at the back of the boat.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no music or anything.
You finished an Athena? Yeah, my Athena's pretty low.
Oh god, yeah, I gotta work on my Athena bad.
Athena and my Reapers are both pretty low. Wait, when we sailed. Boom, Kraken. Oh no. Okay, she's again.
Do you want me to straighten out a little bit and we'll drop the anchor?
Yeah, we can go just head on and if you want to. She's right here. What is she doing? She's not doing it. Okay, now it's not loading. Okay, it's super glitchy tonight. Like,
Yeah.
between the not being able to breathe and like my cannons won't reload. Be there and haven't walked the plank to oblivion. Oh, she's charging. No music. Charging. No music. Oh, now music is back. What? Now it's gone again?
I will hold.
No, there's music, I hear it.
Oh yeah, there it is.
So weird. Which side is she on?
She's on the port.
There she is. Yep. Oblivion, you say. I never got a clip, but I didn't see a sky event, and I was like, I don't mean to alarm anyone, but Kraken. You're like, so I don't want anyone to panic, but there's no events going on right now, so. Oh, I got her. No, I didn't get her?
Nope. She's charging or disappearing.
But I literally just
Disappearing,
hit
she's
her
gone.
in the charge. I feel like she went tail up. So, I don't know. I don't know what just happened. Maybe?
Now the music
Very
stopped.
weird. Yeah, I mean, it's normal.
Go lay down and lurk. Okay, Obi, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Bye, Obi.
Obi's in here. No, she's leaving. She's lurking. She's leaving. I don't know. Maybe she left. It looked like, because I hit her in the charge. And it looked like she went tail up, but...
Do you see birds anywhere?
I don't see anything.
We want to go
Alright.
southeast. It'll take us to Morrows.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's what she... That's fine. Yeah, I don't see any birds. Yeah. No. Just kidding. Obi's cool. She is cool. I love her. She's one of my favorite people. Have a great stream. Good night. Good night. Thank you for the lurk.
See the spicy bag.
I didn't blend my blue very well. That's a cute emote, DJ. I want to think of some new channel points. Change things up a little bit.
Spicy.
There's like a holding the cannonball in my hand. Oh. I just knocked over a bunch of push pins on my desk over here. I didn't mean to. I feel like I'm in a game funk right now. You know, like, have you ever had that happen? Where it's just like, I don't know, every game is just like not really, doesn't really sound very interesting to you right now. Like, I was really vibing with Subnautica, and now I'm just like, well, that's not necessarily true. I'm not eh. I really am enjoying Forever Skies, which I'm glad I'm enjoying. But I think I'm enjoying Forever Skies because it's like filling the Subnautica hole in my heart. And I've got some off-stream games. Like, I'm really enjoying Fallout. I'm really enjoying Icarus. But yeah, I'm definitely to the point where I'm like, oh, what do I do now? Oh my gosh, I should rename that. It's called Cozy, but I should rename it Burrito. You're warm now? Are you burrito mode? Are you burrito mode? What is this music?
Hmm?
Oh, it just stopped. It just like, I don't know, like the music got like really ominous for a second, but then it stopped.
It's because we're in it's because we're in the spicy lands.
Burrito mode. I know. I'm gonna sleep so good. Not that I didn't sleep well. Not that I didn't sleep well, because I absolutely did. I slept very well, you know, and I didn't push myself any of the mornings. If I got up and I was like, I'm too tired to start stream, I didn't start stream, you know. But I'm just, it's very exhausting being performative for the days on end. You know, and like one of the things that I think is the funniest part about streaming, for me personally, is when people are always like, ooh, it's just sitting down and playing games, and it's like, it's
Seek fluid
so
intake
not.
immediately.
DJ, I made that command for you. I hope you know that. Don't tell anyone, it's a secret. But I made that command for you. You see that? Huh. I was trying to see if I could cover up my tattoo, and apparently I can. I love it. I know you do. I knew you would too when I was thinking about making it. I was like, DJ will do it. I think it's so funny. I can't get over the fact. Like, I literally, and this is it. I can't believe that I am playing Forever Skies. And Forever Skies also has a bitch ass, snotty ass Alexa. Like, I'm like, come on.
She's everywhere.
Like, you're kidding me. This snotty ass Alexa. The first time that the Alexa in Forever Skies tells me to like take a break, I'll probably chill out. Only if you're a streamer who actually chats and keeps chat entertained. I like really try. Like even if like, and I've noticed, you know, even some of my streamer friends or streamer ex-friends will do that where like if nobody's actively talking, like they also won't talk. It's like, no, you also still have to be chatting, and you still have to be talking, and you still have to be the entertainment. It's not chat's job to entertain the streamer, you know?
I babble. You gotta be able to babble.
I babble, oh my god. And I think that's why, like, especially like when I've been like doing these like streams and I've been like super late at night where it's like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and my throat is so dry that I can't stop like coughing and like clearing my throat and stuff. It's because I've been fucking babbling for 18 hours straight. You know? Like if people aren't talking to me, I'm talking to myself or I'm talking to chat because I know that's like people are there. They're just listening while they're playing games or doing whatever they're doing, and that's the whole thing is that like me asking if you could play Phasma at 2 a.m. DJ, I would literally die. I would literally die playing Phasma at 2 o'clock in the morning by myself. Like, I would just pass out and I would die. I would cease to exist. But you just, like, you have to always stream and you have to always act like there's somebody there watching. Basically. Basically is how you have to do it.
Are you close enough to get it? Get this up?
I think that's a yes. I think that's a yes. What do you think? What do you think?
I reckon that's a yes.
I reckon I just got yeeted.
Yeet.
The rogue ship title.
See, yeah, it has my name. Captained by me. See?
Yeah, and
I think we'll be okay.
sovereign, so it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, see, you have to trick the game into thinking it crashed. You just can't close it. You have to force close it. Because if you had just, like, quit the game, it would be like, you're quitting the game, are you sure? But this time we were like, oopsies! What happened?
We don't know.
I think that's all of it.
What happened? My ear itches. What happened? So much coins. And that's not even a lot of coins, too. That's what's sad. It's like... I wish I had more coins.
I can't wait till Chaos comes back and like.
Oh yeah, he wants to do it like on Sundays. Like he wants to make it like a Sunday thing.
Yeah.
Sunday of Thieves.
Sunday. Let's go drop our emissaries.
Our Emmys.
We have to be really. It's necessary that we drop our emissary.
Emmys. Sandy gassed. Emmys. Gimme. Okay.
Oh.
We did it. The legendary gold seeker title unlocked. Very nice. Very nice. Okay,
nice
I am
booty.
going to play some Forever Skies until it's bedtime.
Nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be what we do.
Okay, I will be in chat.
Okay, Aaron, thank you for playing.
Yep.
Happy 3-year anniversary!
Thank you! I know, I'm almost there. Bye!
Okay, bye!
Bye! Okay. Now, let me just get this, like, stupid hangnail that I've got right here. That's really annoying me. And then we're gonna play some Forever Skies for, like, an hour. And then it's time. Chatter.